Hey Ailish,
Hello, Alia.
it's so good to see you. How are you doing?
Finally.
Finally. This is like a long overdue catch up we're having right here.
Oh my God, so long overdue. I love it.
So Ailish and I basically been meaning to catch up for a while, and yeah, we've been busy and holding off, and then we're like, hey, let's make time, let's catch up, see how we're doing, and then we were just like, hey, why don't we have a call and let's like share as well what we're doing, because I when I think of Ailish, I think of someone who's all about self-care, self-love, and I knew that she would have a lot to share. So I thought, rather than just have our phone call for us, I would love for her or even both of us to bounce off ideas and share, self-care tips and self-love along the way as well.
Do you know what just came to my head? I want to share with people how we first met.
How did
Do you remember when we first met?
I'm pretty sure I know, but you tell the story. You're probably better at telling the story than me. Go on,
It was
do
it was
share.
true. It was 2 years ago.
Was it
It
two
was
years
just when I set
ago?
up No Coach. Yeah.
Wow. So I moved to Abu Dhabi 2 years ago this month. I'm in Dubai now, but yeah, 2 years ago this month. Well, March. So last.
Right.
Yeah, and then we met. I think maybe in May, right?
Yes, because I had just set up Nova Coach. I set up Nova Coach in April
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Oh.
At the end of April, yeah, I can't believe that's nearly 2 years. My
Happy
God.
anniversary! Congrats to
Oh,
you. It's
thanks, girl.
amazing. Oh wow.
And I remember you messaged me, was it on Instagram?
Lovely.
And you were like, oh my God, you're in Abu Dhabi. I'm in Abu Dhabi. Let's meet. And we met in Cafe Arabia and we sat and chatted for
Ages.
like 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it was so nice.
Yeah, it was so nice because I was new to this country and I didn't really know
I
anyone.
remember
And
it.
to meet someone that we have like such great conversations, like-minded, conversations. I was like,
Yes.
wow, I love
Yeah.
this. And you've
Oh,
been
sorry.
here. You've
I
been here
just had a piece of nostalgia there. Go on.
you've been here. What is it? 8 years now.
Yeah, 8 years.
Wow, I bet
eight
it's flying
years.
by.
I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, wow. That's the kind of UAE life, though, isn't it? People intend to come for 1 year, and then it's like 10 years later, like, yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, one more year tattooed on my head there. One more year.
Was. But yeah, no, I'm glad. And then 2 years later, obviously, we're still, yeah, it's been so good to see your journey as well.
Oh, and yours
It's
too. Like you're just blossoming in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Like it's amazing to see, Alia.
yeah, same to you. So how is it all going in general? Obviously, like you said, you had this idea, you started Nova Coach 2 years ago, and
Yeah.
then how are things going now on your journey? You've obviously got your niche, you're working with people that you love, you're following your passion. Like, how's it all going?
Yeah, I don't know. It's going. It's amazing. And also like shout out to you for helping me find my niche. Like I remember that session we had. And do you remember like the light bulb that went
Yeah.
off in my head? I was like, oh my God, expats. I was like, I'm an expat. Like I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it was so amazing. So much
Yeah.
like energy and insight in that session.
Great.
How's going? Okay, so it's going well. It's
Yeah.
busy. I'm obviously a full-time teacher by day, and I'm doing my coaching certification with Coactive
Mhm.
CTI, and the certification starts in January. So I'll be coaching 100 hours worth of hours. Coaching 100 hours, okay. I'll be coaching 100 hours in the time frame given, an oral exam, written exam, and I have my pod calls every week then to California. That's obviously like the study groups and stuff like that. And yeah, just coaching clients, and I love it. It's
That's
really
amazing.
exciting, and um, I'm learning so much about myself
Mm.
through coaching others, but
Yeah,
also through my course. Like it's just amazing. Yeah, it's very rewarding.
that's awesome. And like we said about you finding out so much about yourself as well, you do, don't you? On the journey, it's like such a
Yeah,
self-discovery journey when you're studying coaching, when you're getting into coaching. Yeah. What
yeah,
I
because you have to do the work first, don't you? You
Yeah.
know,
Oh
before
yeah.
you can do with others. Yeah.
And I think it's an ongoing journey as well. We'll always be learning about ourselves. We're always evolving, always growing. But I think there's definitely a certain amount of kind of inner work that it's important for you to do. And I think that the more inwards, the deeper you go with yourself, the deeper that you're able to serve and go with your clients as well. So yeah, it's really important. This just randomly popped in my head. I remember when I went to see Gary Vaynerchuk in November. I went to, went to see Gary Vaynerchuk in November, and then I'm just sitting there and I'm watching him, answer questions, and there were 2 rows of people, waiting to answer questions, and they were on the screen, and then I just look and I see Ailish on the screen in the queue. I'm like, Ailish. And I think I tried to call out to you a few times, but you couldn't hear initially, and then obviously later you saw me, but. And I loved it. I think what happened was they were closing up questions, right? He was like, they were like, okay, no, the questions are done now, and you're the next in line.
Dubai. And I was like, no, this cannot happen.
And you just were like, you grabbed that, you're like, no, this has been my dream. And what I found so amazing was, you said you had it on your vision board, right? You had Gary V on your vision board. And like, I think talking to him or having a conversation with him, and then that opportunity came, and then you were just like, no. So yeah, what was that?
And it was like right in front of me, and it was just leaving like this. He's just leaving, and I'm like, no, this cannot happen.
Wow, that was amazing. Then obviously he answered your question as well. You spoke to him, and I think you got a selfie with him as well. So.
Yeah, I know. It was just all surreal. I came off the stage shaking. I was like, wow. I hugged him. Oh my God. Like, yeah,
he's great. And I think, that just shows the power of intention as well. Because let's say, I'm a huge believer of vision boards, setting intentions, manifesting, because let's say you didn't have him on your vision board. You weren't so, sure that I want to meet him one day. I really want to, I really love learning from him. Maybe you would have been in the queue and just been like, okay, fine, okay, that's a shame, and maybe gone back. But because in your mind you were so strong about that, you kind of like no, very determined. So yeah, that was cool to see.
It was amazing to be in it.
Yeah, no, it was a good thing.
Oh.
So how are you? Yeah, me, how am I? I'm good. Obviously now is a crazy time. We're in April now, April the 2nd. And yeah, obviously with things going on at the moment, having to readjust everything, and just, I'm okay. I think initially it was a shock, obviously quarantine, it was definitely a shock to start with, and very overwhelming. But I think as the days have gone by, I think I've kind of got into a flow, got my routine, and just, started to focus on the benefits and the positives of the situation, and taking it one day at a time. So yeah, I think I'm pretty good on the whole. Yeah,
that's good. Yeah. And I like that attitude of like one day at a time, because we don't know anything more than one day, really.
Yeah. I mean, and just in general, right? Even going on from this and before this, it's such a great way to live your life in general. Just being able to be in the present, obviously have your goals and know where you're heading, but just again being very much in the present, not worrying about what's happened, and not being too concerned about what hasn't happened yet, but being very much in the now. So yeah. So what would you say you're doing during this time to stay sane, to look after yourself and stay sane during this time?
Wow. Yeah. What am I doing to stay sane? Okay. I'm making sure that I'm adhering. That sounds so strict. But I have to.
You're a teacher, right? Adhere.
That is the teacher in me. But yeah, I suppose, to be fair, I think there is an element though where I have to be really disciplined with myself, because I am really taking on my routine a lot more seriously now, because I'm working from home, because I know myself that if I don't have a routine and I'm not following something like a structure, I could very easily spiral. Yeah. Because no one is around me holding me accountable. I don't live with anyone, so I could get away with anything, like unless I actually practice self-discipline.
Yeah.
So I practice it through meditation first thing in the morning, or else if I don't do it in the morning, I do it definitely within the first few hours of the morning as I'm doing my teaching online and all that feedback to the kids.
Yeah.
And I do make sure I get my exercise in. Journaling, my God, journaling is just really helping me right now. I love journaling. I think
Yeah.
there's such a
Okay.
power in writing words down on paper.
Yeah.
I think you can have an energy shift when you're writing down words, and
Sure.
it's filtering the mind, right? You're
Yeah, it's
clearing
just
out
like letting it all. It's like a an outlet really
yeah,
for thoughts, and
it's
it's
really cathartic,
yeah.
it's such a cathartic experience. So I love journaling, but I wouldn't journal just about like today I'm feeling da, da. I really try and get to like, okay, my gratitudes, my priorities for the day. And I do look at prompts. So like there's a course I'm following right now by Rachel Lynn. So she's at home within on Instagram,
Yeah, yeah.
and she's running a course for 21 days, and she's got really cool prompts that make you think differently. And the things that come out of the journaling prompts, she says, just write and let the words flow. Don't
Yeah,
judge, just write,
for
and
sure. Yeah.
it's a lovely way of doing things. I really like that. Yeah.
That's how I love to journal. I think I was very resistant to journaling for a while. I don't know why. It's just like, oh, if I kind of felt like it was an effort, and I felt like almost had to put some work into it. But then when I stopped thinking of it like that, I have to write down this, or I have to structure it in this way, and I just, allow myself to just pick up my journal, just write whatever I'm feeling at that time. I think it's so, and you end up learning so much about yourself as well along the way, and like what's really going on in there. And yeah, so I love that style as well. I kind of do the intentions and what I want to do for the day, and I practice gratitude. I say gratitude out loud every morning rather than writing. I actually like to say it. But in terms of journaling, I love, just having that kind of free flow, like writing style. And as well, I think for me, I think one of the reasons I was resisting was because I thought I had to do it, for example, before I slept. But and then sometimes I didn't want to do it before bed, for example. But now I'm just like, no, just do it whenever. Just like I'm sitting there, I've got a bit of time, got some thoughts, just write it down. So, okay, cool. So you've got quite a few things, like you said. For you, you said discipline is really important. Having your routine.
It is, and I think the irony is
Yeah.
I've become a lot more disciplined with myself while I'm in the social distancing quarantine scenario. I've taken it more seriously than beforehand, which is nice. I'm learning something new, and I'm obviously practicing a lot more mindfulness in my life. Yeah. What about you? What do you do?
So again, same thing. So for me, the first few days, it was a bit kind of like all over the place, and suddenly I was moving all my sessions to online. I had all the meetings were suddenly chat cancelled, and I had events that I was cancelling as well, for the first couple of weeks, and I had loads of talks lined up, all that. I think it was the first week of it all, everything just got cancelled. It was International Women's Day as well, so I had all these talks lined up, and it just felt like everything fell through.
Yeah.
So initially it was kind of like a huge feeling of overwhelm, and I just felt like, okay, what's going on? But same with you. I just felt like in the first few days I need to have some. I mean, I already have my morning routine. I already have structure in my day, but I think even more so because you're not being able to go out. You're not being able to obviously do the same things that you could before. So for me, I'd say, I'm still waking up. My morning routine is the same. So I wake up. I do some stretching in the morning. I do meditation every morning. I meditate every morning. Then I practice gratitude. So I like to just say out loud all the things that I'm feeling grateful for. And then I'll do a home workout. So thank God for home workouts. Hey, there are like so many every morning. So yeah, on YouTube I do a home workout. And then just get ready and start my day, have breakfast, and start working. But it's so important for me. Like it's so important to exercise the gratitude, and I think just to have that state of mind for the day. I think it's, and how you start your day will have a big impact on the rest of your day. So I think especially for working from home life, I'm always saying to people, don't just get up and stay in your PJs and just grab your laptop and start working from your bed or so. But it's just not a great feeling. I think initially, you know, it's like, woo, work from home, work in PJs. It
Yeah.
might sound real fun, but really it's not, you're not going to be in the best kind of state. You're not going to be in a great mental state to be, you know, working and feel productive and motivated. By, you know, 12 o'clock, you're going to be feeling a bit like, oh, you know, this day is really long. So, you know,
Yeah.
even just by getting up, you know, doing your bed, having a shower, you know, getting moving,
Mhm.
you've already ticked off a few things, you know, in the first half an hour of your day. So, and then you'll feel a lot better. And I feel like once you've got that momentum going of doing a couple of things in your day, then you're like, okay, cool. What else can I, you know, do in my day? It just gets that, you know, that feeling of energy.
It's that energy shift though, isn't it? Like when
Yeah.
you're waking up and you actually make an intention of wearing office clothes or wearing your workout gear while working from home, it's that energy shift that, you know, you're in that mindset of either I'm going to work out later, I've got my gym gear on, or I'm in my working clothes I wear to the office because I'm in my mindset of work, you know?
For
It's
sure.
really important.
Sure. Yeah, no, definitely. I've been working remotely now for just under 3 years, and I've never worked in my PJs. It's just something I refuse to do. It's like, no, get up, get ready, and done. Because, like you said, it's that energy shift. You know,
Yeah.
otherwise you're still in bed mode. And then
As well, you handled it like a champ with your cancellation of events. Like, you've done so well, Alia, to move things online. I've seen you've been doing webinars online for all of
yeah,
your clients. Like, you've handled it impeccably well, and
thank
you've
you.
shown such, honestly, but you model, you're not just like, you talk the talk and walk the walk of being a confidence coach. You know what I
Thank you.
mean?
Yeah,
You
thank you.
really
That's
do.
so sweet. Thank
You
you.
handle it with such grace as well. I love it.
I think, you know, I think this is something I had to learn very early on from running my business. You know, when you start a business, especially with anything really, a new career, a new business, you kind of expect it to be like, yeah, it's just going to go like this. I'm just going to work hard. This is my goal. I'm going to, you know, get there easily. And it's like, nope.
No.
You're going to face so many hurdles and challenges and knockbacks
Yeah.
along the way. And I was talking to a friend about this the other day. I was saying, I don't know, maybe it's the crazy inside of me. There's a part of me that when this happens, I always get a bit of energy inside of me as well. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, how do I deal with this now? You know, what do I do? It's always, I guess it's solution-based thinking, isn't it? You know, rather than thinking, sitting in the problem, you know, there's no point in sitting in the problem. Why complain that this has happened? Obviously, initially I was like, what do I do? But then I was like, okay, cool. What do I do now? And I think it's important. I think it's crucial, actually. You have to always,
Adaptability.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
just adapt. And I think especially during this time as well, it's like, how can you adapt? But yeah, it's been lovely. And I think with doing the master, doing it online as well, it's like obviously being able to bring women from different countries. I had women from 5 different countries in the one last week, so it was really, really nice.
I
um,
know. It looked so cool.
no, thank you. So yeah, and I'd say for me as well, just being able to do in this time more things that I wasn't, you know, making time for before. So I'm really happy about that. You know, just more of a balance with the other things in my life as well, such as being more creative, such as starting to do more baking as well, more cooking, just more reading about things that I wasn't making time for. You know, even like reading a book, because I listen to a lot of audiobooks because I drive a lot, so I listen to Blinkist and audiobooks. But I missed actually, you know, sitting and picking up a book. I don't like Kindles, actually picking up and reading a book. So I'm making a lot of time for that now, you know, just things like that. Yeah, so I'm looking at the benefits of this time. So what do you think life will be like post Corona after all of this?
Oh, okay. Okay. I do think that people will be more aware of our impact of pollution on the world,
Hmm.
Mother Nature, and the environment. I think, I hope, I don't really think it, I think it's my hope really, that there'll be less traveling for business meetings, you know, that people will realize that they can conduct everything online and they don't need to travel to the other end of the country or to travel to other countries just for a meeting.
Mm.
Um, I think it will stop unnecessary travel for those kind of things, that anything that can be conducted online will be. I think it could definitely be a catalyst for a real change in how we work in the office, how flexible people are to work from home. And it could be a real catalyst for change in education, because as a teacher, we're learning, we're upskilling, you know, we're learning so much about how to conduct lessons online, how to facilitate, how to support our students through the online platforms. And I think there will be a lot of benefits from it. I think society will be definitely a lot more connected and loving, empathetic.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a lot more compassion, because people are looking for someone to blame, and there's no one really to blame, you know.
Yeah.
So I think there will be a lot more compassion in society, but I do have a concern that it could change things on the flip side. Like, it could have a lasting effect, like you know, like 9/11 had a lasting effect on changing security in airports. Like, that had a massive shift in the whole entire world.
Yeah.
And I wonder, will there be a shift in how we connect as humans after this as well, you know, in person?
Yeah.
So I think it doesn't, but we don't know. We don't know what's on the
Yeah.
other side. What do you think?
Interesting to see both sides. So yeah, I completely what you're saying about less travel for work. I think hopefully it will be an eye opener in terms of being able to be more flexible when it comes to work. So flexible working hours, people being able to work from home if they want to, and having more of that option. I think this time has, you know, really forced us, if anything, to look inwards. You know,
Yes.
during this time, we haven't been able to distract ourselves with all the distractions, like just going out all the time, you know, just traveling and being out with friends, and just, you know, spending time out all day, just kind of, yeah, busying ourselves. We've had to, and I know, and I'm very aware that this has actually been very uncomfortable for a lot of people as well. A lot of conversations I'm having, even clients, it's like this time is very challenging, because it's like you're forced to just be, you know, if people aren't used to being by themselves in their own space, it can be very, very challenging. So it's, and that's really when you know that growth is happening, because you're in an uncomfortable situation, you know, being stretched right there. So I think, you know, in a shift in a way that people are, I think, being a bit more reflective, they're being a bit more mindful as well. They're just connecting with themselves more, thinking about, I guess we're thinking about what's real in life as well, you know, what's really, really real. And I think if you think about it, I mean, this is all connected us as humans. Like, what else in, you know, our generation, our parents' generation, have people come out of that they've experienced, that everyone is experiencing the same thing on the same level. So I feel like we're all gonna, yeah, we're all gonna come out of this, and it's so weird that we're all going to have this in common. So, you know, we're going to come out, we're all going to have the same kind of conversations with each other. How was that for you? You know, that kind of element of like, did that really happen? You know, what was that experience like for you? But I know what you're saying in terms of, yeah, the other side. I hope that, like you said, there isn't this kind of maybe a paranoia when it comes to people being a bit kind of bit distant, or you know, I made a joke with my friends about this the other day, because we've been hanging out on Zoom and having lots of Zoom calls, and I was like, you know, I hope this doesn't continue post-corona. Like, hey, do you want to come over tonight? Yeah, I'll send you the link on Zoom. You know, I'll send you the hangout.
Oh, I know.
You know, no, of course not. But yeah, it's just, I think it was interesting to know, right? I guess we'll see when it happens. But, yeah.
I think also it's going to bring people more into their health and their mindfulness.
Yeah.
And I suppose getting present with the moment, like you mentioned, like sitting with their emotions. Someone had shared in their Instagram, I can't remember who it was, I wish I remembered. Someone had said, it's like we're getting prison fit indoors. You know, everyone's working out.
Yeah, I know. No, I know.
You know?
Everyone's becoming like super fit and like into cooking and baking and learning and writing, like creative. And yeah, I know it's we're gonna come out like, wow, transformed.
Whoa. But like, we're gonna have all these summer bodies, but like, where are we gonna travel to at the airport?
On the balcony.
Yeah, okay. 10. Oh, I know. But I mean, I think right.
I think, yeah, I think that's if you choose to. That's why I'm always trying to emphasize, you know, use this time in a really, really, in a great way. I don't use the word productive necessarily, but really in a great way, because you never know when you're going to get this time back. And you don't want to look back on this time and think, oh, you know what, I had all that time then. I really regret not using it to even like connecting more with my family, you know, catching up with friends, or, you know, starting that online course that I wanted to do, or planning for that business that I want to start, starting my YouTube channel, whatever it is. Really use this time now. I think this is such an incredible time, you know, to really get going with things that you've been putting off.
And there's no better time for, I know it's a bit of a double-edged sword, but there's no better time to be creating online, because everyone is at home consuming. Everyone's consuming content right now. There's no better time right now if you are itching to create content, if you're itching to create that business, that Instagram page, that TikTok. This is the time, because everyone is consuming. Everyone's consuming content.
Absolutely. And I think it's, the future as well, really. So moving to more online, so I definitely, and when you're on the message of online, you know, that's the thing where I feel like we're so much more connected as well, you know, during this time.
I know, yeah. Thank God for Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I know. And good Wi-Fi as well. Yeah, I think a part of me thought, I think there was a few blips initially, and I was like, oh no, is this going to affect our Wi-Fi? But yeah, I jinx it, but it's all good. But yeah, I think because we're all experiencing the same thing, so we're all really like empathizing with one another, all connected. So yeah, like you said, if you've got that one thing you want to do, you want to start, no, now is the time, 100%.
Now is the time. Now is the time. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it was so lovely talking to you. I feel like we could talk for hours and hours, but we have to stop sometime.
Yeah, we do.
But yeah, really, really good talking to you, Ailish. And you know, hope the routine continues. Hope, you know, the motivation. And by the way, I love. Do share your Instagram handle as well. I love your daily videos, your stories. There's always like, it's like, okay, follow Ailish in quarantine, and you have like your morning, and then like, you're dancing around the kitchen, and I love it.
I have to keep myself entertained.
Oh, definitely. Oh yeah, definitely. So do you want to share your Instagram handle for those who are watching?
Yeah, my Instagram is @thenovacoach, NOVA. There we go, NovaCoach.
Awesome. And you can follow me on coach_Alia, ALIYA. Amazing. Well, thank you guys, and hope you have a great rest of the day, and we will speak to you soon. Take care, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.